Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Casa d'Angelo, with locations in Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, and Aventura.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the unveil with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And as you can see, we are at a very special place today. It's iconic, and it's celebrating its 100th anniversary. And I love it. I know it because I grew up in the Northeast. We're talking about Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana in Delray Beach. There's two South Florida locations. We were at the grand opening, and I can't believe it's like 2.5 years ago, October of 22.
Really? It's been
At the
2 years?
Plantation
Oh my
location. And now here we are 2.5 years later, and it's 100 years in. This iconic brand started in New Haven on Worcester Street in 1925. We're now in 2025, and we're with the vice president of Pepe's. It's Kevin Gagliard. I hope I have that correctly pronounced. Yes. And is his mic on, Lubie? I didn't hear him for a second.
He is.
Say
Testing.
There we
Can you
go.
hear me?
Now we
All right.
okay.
We're
All
live.
good.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having me, Mike, and thanks for being a guest today.
Oh, no. I mean, thank you for having us. It's very exciting times in the Pepe world because not only is it the 100th anniversary, but you're starting something new, which is the first cocktail bar.
Char bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Now-
known for our char on our pizzas. Now we built the char bar.
The
here in
char
Delray.
bar.
I love how he says
Is that
the
how
char bar.
that's the New England Boston accent? New Haven, is the New Haven accent similar to Boston?
Well, I
guess?
joined 10 years ago when they needed a Boston accent when they opened up in Boston, so I qualified for that. But
You gotta park the car at Harvard Yard and
Harvard
then go
Yard.
to the char bar
right,
and get ourselves some of the cocktails later.
we're really excited about this
Hey,
bar.
you want to? Okay, so look, a pizza. That's the way you pronounce it, right?
Beats.
A pizza. It's spelled a pizza, but again, it's a classic, old school Italian that's converted to New Haven. We're going to talk a little history here in a minute, but I have a pop quiz for everybody out there. Do you know the difference between charred and burnt?
Char is just the light, dark kiss. There is no
Right,
burn.
right.
There is no
There is no
burn.
burnt.
It's-
My answer was 45 seconds. So
Okay.
It is specific
All right, that's
time.
no, and it's a real art. And for all those people who comment on the Let's Eat South Florida group, people who aren't familiar with the New Haven pizza, it is not burnt. It is charred. And I think, we got a vaguely familiar with it down here because some of the New York style Brooklyn coal-fired pizza places were similar, where it was kissed with that leopard spotting. And as pizza tastes have advanced, I think more people are aware that just because you see some black spots, it doesn't mean it's burnt. But yeah, just talk a little bit about the brand,
It's
the beginning, the history, and just the style of the pizza.
Well, Frank and Philomena came over here, and Frank was originally a bread baker in Worcester Street. And eventually, as he was using his creative mind, he was a very creative person. He decided to bring some culture from his home, Italian immigrant. As you know, many Italian immigrants landed in New Haven in that time period. And he started with the crushed tomatoes that you see here, pureed on site. Currently, we do everything like Frank did. And he put that pecorino romano that's grated on site, and it's all the fresh on site. And that's how we were born. We were born with a plain red pie with just the ingredients that you get, the flavors of the tomatoes, the flavors
Simple
of the pecorino.
things that create a harmonious symphony.
There's two secret weapons, and one of them is the coal-fired oven.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 14 by 14 coal-fired oven. It burns at 600 degrees. And we've replicated that oven from New Haven to all of our current locations.
Right. Let me ask you about that, because coal-fired pizza, big deal thing in New Haven. It was a big deal thing in New York. The original Patsy's and out in Long Island, Coney Island, near where I grew up in Brooklyn. Totono's was a coal-fired pizza, but a lot of localities now prohibit the use of coal and coal-fired ovens. But you manage to find places that still allow it, and you insist on doing it that way, right?
We have to.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
we won't change anything from the way we do it.
Oh, that's impressive.
With the Frank Pepe way of doing it.
So-
Every oven is blessed and kissed in that coal fire.
Yeah, and I know you
Every pizza.
seasoned. I remember from when we did the plantation show. Again, I can't believe it's October
That's crazy. It's
22
been 2 years.
that we were with the founders, Dottie Kelly, and we had a great time with her. But she explained the history and the fact that you actually had to like season and get the ovens fired up and like do all these pizzas that ended up just going to charity because you had to get that thing. I guess is it seasoning? Is that
We build the oven first,
right?
and then the contractors build the restaurant around the oven.
Yeah.
Now, while the contractors are working, we just run the oven to dry out those bricks and then start to season it.
Mhm.
And then we start throwing pizzas in that
Just
oven
all
and
day and
giving
night.
them away in the community
Mhm.
until we see what we know we like, which is a perfectly seasoned oven ready to go. So we open the restaurant when the oven's ready.
Ready.
Not
Okay.
necessarily.
Oh, really?
How long
a
did it
date.
take for this location? in
3
Delray?
months.
3 months.
We
So
burn the
3
oven for
months
about
of-
3 months?
Yeah. That's
So is that built? Okay, is that built in to because a lot of the
plan,
times
yeah.
we see restaurants we do it every day. Well, we want to open in May, and then they end up opening in August because of permitting and this and that. Like you build that into remember when everything's done, we still need 3 months to get the ovens right.
That's why we start seasoning it and testing it while they're building the restaurant.
they're still
but
building
it does
it.
frustrate some people because that is the shrine of the restaurant. When you
Right.
come in, it's the center of all our restaurants. We're
and
very proud of it.
it really is a sight to behold when you come in here. And again, 2 locations in South Florida. The one Plantation Walk we've been to, it's just on University, just above Broward Boulevard. Here we're kind of at the northeast corner of where Linton Boulevard and Federal Highway meet, and it's on Federal Highway. So as you come over on Linton, you just take boom, you go north, and you'll see it on the corner here,
It's a
standalone
beautiful
building.
location.
No, it's great.
And you guys have been open here for what, about a year and a half?
June of 2023.
June of 2020. So we're coming up on a 2-year
Yeah,
anniversary.
2-year anniversary. It takes a while to, train and cultivate and get the right people, and it's all about training because it's a handmade product. Nothing's coming out of any machines. Making the dough every night on site, 8 o'clock at night, proofing the dough to the perfect temperature to
Now-
pound it out and
I saw-
serve it.
Yeah, I saw the facility, in the kitchen in Plantation. I assume it's the same way where you have that osmosis system with the water, so you're getting the same
We'll get the real
replicating-
water.
replicating the northeast water, which everybody says
We
makes
changed the
difference.
pH balance.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so the scientists, the really smart guys, tested the water before we even thought of Florida.
Mhm.
They tested the water in Florida as well as the water in New Haven, and they're able to strategically change the pH balance. And that's what we believe we are able to do is create New Haven water in Florida. If
Okay.
we could not create that water, we wouldn't be here. Because
I don't know what the whole fluoride situation now is getting
No,
a little
don't
hectic,
even-
but I don't even want to go there. Talking about
we'll
taking
leave
that.
that to the
Yeah,
scientists.
we'll leave it to the scientists. Should leave it to the scientists. Somehow the politicians have gotten it.
Well, let me
But
ask
anyway,
because Mayo it talks about it, and we do every day. We go to different restaurants, and either you have an open palate or you're going to get one doing this show. And I appreciate him because when it comes to pizza, people have their favorites, and there's like barbecue. There's like 8 to 10 or 12 different kinds of pizza just in America alone now. What have you noticed going from in the Northeast where this was born out of, I guess, Napoli?
real traditional methods. Yeah.
What have you noticed when you've seen it travel throughout the East Coast and when you guys have brought Pepe's?
I'm glad Mike brought that up to start. We have to educate people on who we are and what
here
we're
we
all about.
It's like we got one of the first pizzas, and we're going to be surrounded by pizza by the next segment. And here, this one we've got, it looks like the new Caprese.
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 Caprese. Ooh,
Caprese.
nice.
That smells
Yeah,
good.
so we're always looking for the next hit.
Right.
Frank invented the clam pizza. He put
Right.
clams,
We're
which
going to
we're
be
going to
seeing
have
one of
later.
those, and then one of the classic tomato pies, which is my favorite,
Right.
which you mentioned. What they first started in 25, back from the old country. You didn't put mozzarella cheese and all meats and stuff. It was just simple tomatoes and a little bit of the pecorino romano, right?
We're a traditional pizza. It's about the natural ingredients being extracted from it.
Yeah.
Meaning you get the natural flavor of the tomatoes. We don't hype it up with a lot of seasoning.
Right.
We crush them in the back. These are in Italy. We bring them over. We have our own crops over there. The grandchildren test the tomatoes during harvest season, and they pick it based off of the right sweetness and consistency. And these can come in a little different. So when you puree them, the adjustments you would make with the tomatoes would be you would add or subtract water on the thickness, because these are all natural products. You have the tomatoes crushed here, and you have to make them the right amount of thickness to put a perfect sauce on that pizza.
Back to Lubie's question. I mean, so what do you see when you've traveled south?
Like, how do people take it? Like,
are people learning about the old style, or do they say, "I want a barbecue chicken pizza"? And do you offer that?
Start by educating them. Yes, they'll look at it and they'll see the kiss of the char, and they'll associate it with
that scary word.
But a true pizza can stand up on its own.
Yep, look at that.
Okay, it stands right up on its own, and in the bottom there is a perfect crisp on it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to dive in a
you
second, but I'm going to let it.
So
let it cool off for a sec. But again, you were mentioning America has, besides all the different toppings that you could put on a pizza, there's
like
just different styles. I mean, you've got New Haven pizza, you've got the New York style slice joints, New York, New Jersey. You've got now the Detroit style, which is, we used to call it just Sicilian pizza, but it's big, in the pan with the cheese and crunching over it. You've got the Chicago deep dish. You've got Chicago and Midwestern tavern thin style pizza. You've got California pizza, where you've got Wolfgang Puck went crazy and put like smoked salmon and sour cream on pizza. There's so many different pizza styles, and I always say I'm a pizza agnostic. That is, I pray before not just one of them. I bow down to all styles of pizza, and I love them all. But there's a very influential guy out there named Dave Portnoy.
I was going to bring his name up. He's from your neck of the woods.
He's from a Boston guy, but his favorite style of pizza is New Haven Beats.
That is correct.
He's showered you guys with praise, the original,
sure,
and the one in Plantation. It took 1 or 2 trips, but he finally got there.
I like to be on his good side.
Yeah. Yes. But have you seen a pronounced bump in popularity because he has sung the praises of New Haven? I believe
in the last 5 to 10 years,
New
Haven has slowly grown to being on the national scene. You've always known about New York, New Jersey, but I believe that New Haven has entered that conversation. And the thing about pizzerias is we respect everybody, and our competition only keeps us better and sharper. They're just people sharing their art, sharing their passion. We love what we do. Frank Pepe's Pizza is simplicity. Okay, it's us extracting all the natural ingredients through the coal-fired process and the freshness.
Now,
the dough, the tomatoes, the pecorino. Here we have roasted cherry tomatoes that are roasted in our coal-fired oven in the morning.
Very nice.
Okay, and then we cool them and we
they're roasted before they're put on there.
This is like some good high-grade mozzarella cheese here, right?
Look at that.
And you got the pesto, right?
Right. You have the fresh whole milk mozzarella. You have the buffalo mozzarella along with the cherry tomatoes and a little bit of pesto, a nut-free pesto. We have no nuts in the building, just myself.
A nut-free pesto. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And because we're a nut-free restaurant.
Okay, good. So it's just garlic and basil, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, do you get offended because I'm from Brooklyn that I'm folding over the pizza? And
no, as long as you keep eating our pizza, we'll be fine with whatever you do.
A big part of Portnoy's thing is, and I love that we didn't bring up his name. You said to show before any questions happen, it stands. See, it stands.
Yeah.
So that's really like a thing there. In that area, like if it bends or whatever, flop. Right. That's really like
no floppy
a test for you
pizzas
guys.
coming out of the Northeast.
That's really like a thing for you.
Exactly. A pizza needs to put crispy and stand up on its own, and it brings out that flavor. And that coal adds that nice flavor to
you can
it.
taste
It's
it.
anthracite coal.
You can taste.
It's not charcoal.
And again, it's charred. It's not burnt. It adds a component of smoke and a little bit of singe, and it's just think it's great. I love the New Haven style pizza, and it is a very close cousin to some of the coal-fired pizzas that I grew up with in New York. And those places you couldn't get slices; it's only by the pie, and it's the same thing here, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in the slice business.
Do
where-
people understand that? Because a lot of, I don't want to say that South Floridians, like a lot of them come
This
from
area.
the 5 boroughs
this
of New
area.
York and in this area particularly, and Boca.
Local.
But they were like, I just want a slice. I can't. How come I can't get a slice? I mean,
Frank Pepe didn't have slices.
right.
So we're a third generation brand. There's 5 generations right now, but the third generation is currently steering the ship. And when they decided to expand 20 plus years ago, they said we have to stay right to
True to the
Grandpa's legacy.
So let me ask you a couple of things. Because again, from 1925 until I don't know when, it was just the one standalone. In New Haven was the original and one and only Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napoletana. When did the first offshoot come? And it was like 20 years ago. And how many do you have overall now?
17 now.
17
Okay.
overall. How many states? It's a bunch. It's like New
Florida,
Florida,
Alexandria,
that's
Virginia,
Yep.
Bethesda, Maryland,
DC,
Rhode
area.
Island has one in Warwick. 3 in
Massachusetts has one.
Massachusetts,
Yep.
8 in Connecticut. That's our home state.
That's the home state. Yeah.
And 1 in Yonkers, New York.
Yonkers. Okay.
Yeah.
So New Yorkers have embraced
They're
it.
taking it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're taking to it.
Yes, they enjoy it very much.
They didn't
So
protest.
a lot of New Yorkers make the trip up to New Haven, and they come out of New Haven, and we've even heard some of them come out there and whisper, don't tell my neighbors, but we like yours.
We like it better
You know?
than the local joints.
We see those New York plates in the parking lot. We take it as a
No high
compliment.
fives.
Should take pictures and blackmail. No, so when did you make this decision to expand
Yeah.
and beyond?
We
New
originally
Haven?
expanded in 04 to
Okay.
Fairfield, Connecticut.
So it's
and it was
fair.
about creating opportunities. Okay?
Okay.
This is a neighborhood pizzeria that started in New Haven on Worcester Street.
And it's important you guys to
And-
keep that mentality. It feels like.
yeah.
And
Because if you keep growing, you keep growing opportunities. I joined the brand when we were at 7 stores. Now we're at 17.
Nice.
I've been a benefit of the brand growing. So if we just stayed to that one location, we wanted to become everybody's neighborhood
Yep.
pizzeria in multiple towns.
and are these franchised or all company
No,
run?
That's a swear.
Oh,
Don't say franchise.
We don't say
That's an
franchise or
F word.
burnt.
Family owned.
That's the new F word. I didn't
It's
know that.
family owned.
Right.
It's family operated, and
Right.
it always will be for the
Okay.
next 100 years.
Okay, so no
Okay.
matter where you go, you maintain that quality
Pepe,
control,
Pepe,
and
Pepe.
you got because
We have a
Look.
team of experienced people,
They're all-
15 plus years in the business, some of them 20 years in the business. That's why to expand, it's all about training and
Right.
developing
Okay.
your people. And
No,
you've got to
that's-
find
I've
great
I've
people.
learned my lesson because there are other brands out there that then they see the dollar signs and they grow too far too fast.
Yep.
They don't maintain the quality standards. They do have that F word where they have franchisees, and then you lose what
You
made
lose control.
and you lose your soul a little bit.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
He said the neighborhood pizza place that doesn't go along with
What they have,
corporate,
right?
sterile,
Mm.
not from the heart and soul. And
We
One thing
want
I
to
was-
be the employer of choice in the neighborhood. We want to be the neighbor of choice. We do good neighbor nights where different charities, sports teams, schools will come in and we'll give 25% proceeds to their organization. But we're a community place. And you said, see the dollar signs. We're more interested in the pizza. This is a family legacy. It's 100 years old.
yeah, that's crazy.
And that's our oath. That's why we open the stores when the ovens are ready versus when the restaurant's ready, because it's all about serving the absolute best pizza. And if you serve the best pizza you can every single day, you never have anything to worry about.
No, that's a good credo, and it seems like the locals are responding. A lot of people who do know the Pepe's brand that live down here and have really embraced it. One of them, my friend Steve Dickstein,
Yep. He's a
and
big fan.
he might be coming over and
Nice.
photobombing the show. We got another friend of the show, Dan Santoro, longtime Fort Lauderdale historian of
Nice.
spring break bars and restaurants. He worked in a lot of bars back in the day. We were talking about spring break
Yeah,
yesterday with
yesterday.
Steve DePuzzo. Dan was serving me some of those drinks during those
Sure.
those fake ID days, but I think we're past the statute of limitations.
I love
Hey, Kevin, we're going to take a break, and then I think we're going to have more pizza in front of us, which is great because I've warmed up with having a slice of this caprese, which is really
Great.
good. I like the way that you innovate and always
it-
are looking for the new, new styles and new ingredients. But I am also a traditionalist, so I cannot wait to see the tomato and the clam pie and some of the other things.
I'll give you a history tour on those.
Oh,
They're all
sounds
nice.
historic pies.
Yes.
That's great.
And can you talk? I mean, were you guys the first? I mean, I know there are others, and there's been big rivalries, much in the same way like in Philadelphia. You have Pat's versus Geno's and the cheesesteak game. I don't know if word like the F word. Can I mention the one across the street that begins with an F? Become a real thing. Oh, he's making it look like, no, don't mention
It
that.
only
name.
keeps us all sharper.
No, he said, I give him
Yeah.
credit. Like you talk, well, Mayo talked about this all the time when restaurants open in areas back in the day that used to be fighting words. But as business people realize, you want more people coming to an area. The more restaurants, the more things going on in an area, bringing more people. They're not. I could eat this every day, but they may not want to eat this every day. So just having competition also it gets you from not resting on your laurels.
It's
which makes a lot
different
of
teams,
sense.
right?
And
then
keeps you
people-
sharp.
Yeah, and again, so
New
there's
Haven's a pizza
There's
town.
Pepe's, and then the other one begins with an S, and those were the original. Like, was one of them the employee of the other one that broke away?
Frank Pepe's nephew.
Okay.
He went down the street and opened his own place.
I bet he's not invited to Thanksgiving anymore. And
It's
both of them
long,
used
long
coal.
time ago. So
and then came along another one called Modern that uses a blend of oil, which is a different kettle of fish.
Okay, before
But that's what makes New Haven a pizza town.
Yeah.
Okay, if there was
They're
one
open to it.
pizzeria there and Frank Pepe was the pioneer,
Yep.
it wouldn't be the mega pizza town now. They have pizza. People come and travel from all over
Yeah.
the country and try everyone's
It's
unique pizza and the way they do it.
food tourism.
and
It's
you
a
know,
thing.
It
and
makes it a
it's good.
Well, and I know we have pizza coming, and I know
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
we're
a
gonna-
special addition
look
to
at
the
these.
Delray location that has
Look.
never happened in a Pepe's.
Drinks. We're gonna have pizza
restaurant.
and cocktails.
But our commenters are asking. We have our buddy George is in Miami, and we get to Miami. We just don't get there as often because we like Broward and we like Palm Beach. It's a lot easier to drive. But he's asking. We know you have Delray. We know you have Plantation. Are you talking about expanding in the South Florida / Florida market at all?
We will be expanding in the future in this area, but like I say, it's training and getting people ready. It causes problems in restaurants
Oh,
when you
yeah.
expand fast and you have great people.
Mm.
So we have, this year we're not opening anything up. We're celebrating our 100 year, and we're fine tuning and we're training. It's a massive production
right.
to do this every night, and
just so the growth is measured and definitely considered. So even if you do one a year, I would imagine that's a huge project. So
exactly.
All right, let's take our first break because
Yes,
there's
sir.
more pizza waiting in the wings. We're gonna get these lovely
We're gonna
cans
get
out
rid
of
of
here
some
and
of these
replace it.
Let's bring
and
in
you
the
talk about
food.
expanding. I'm going to be expanding my waist because that caprese slice went down really easily. I'm not supposed to be eating as much as I used to on a new, health regimen, but
They're
I
small
cannot-
slices.
I know I can't resist here. I'm going to be down in that clam pie. The tomato pie looks great. Let's take a first break, and we'll be back with more from Frank Pepe Pizzeria Napoletana in Delray Beach after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway, just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat Boys with a... All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Frank Pepe Pizzeria Napoletana in Delray Beach. We are with Vice President Kevin Gagliard, who is giving us a little bit of a history lesson. And now we get to the good part, which is
The pizza tour.
eating the pizza tour. What do we have in front of us, Kevin?
That's the original tomato. That's
And
where
this
it
is
all
it.
started.
This is I love this, okay? Again, simple. It's just the tomatoes and on the bottom, a little bit of the pecorino.
Simplicity at its best. It's the crushed tomatoes, the pecorino romano,
All right.
that fresh dough, and then look at the kissed on the edge there, kissed
Now-
with the coal fired.
now
Look,
let me
show
see.
them the bottom of that
Look at
pizza.
that. First of all, the bottom is
Look
leopard
at that
spotted.
bottom.
There
Just
is like, all right, look, gravity is bringing it down a little, but that's okay. I'll do
There you go.
I'll do the
Stands up strong.
the cheat. The guy does he leaves a little bend, but look at it. That's a beautiful thing. We got all right. Before we get to the clam pie, I'm unfortunately introduce you to one of the signature moves of the Mike Mayo Lunchbox. I was known, and I did way too many of them. It's known as the Big Bite, and there are some people like Joey Chestnut who go for volume. I'm not going to be consuming 78 hot dogs in 10 minutes, but what I can do is unhinge my jaw and put this whole slice of pizza in my mouth and eat it and consume it in one bite. Now, I don't know if that's advisable, especially if it's hot. Let me see. I got to do just a temperature check is
I've
fine.
never seen you do that.
And I
before.
love that. He's smart. He's like leaning back.
He
like,
leaned
okay,
back and he's
what's gonna happen?
smiling, which I don't know what that means.
And Lubie, you'll have to either do the play-by-play or pick
I have a
up
question for. I
yeah,
have
you
a
can give him a
comment,
question,
actually.
but here we go. We're going to do in honor of Pepe's 100th anniversary.
A really classy joint, a
Yes.
very unclassy and sort of disgusting things about that.
But it's so good. And again, the original tomato pie, it's so easy. It goes down very, very smoothly because it's not, I don't want to say cluttered because all the toppings are great. Everything that gets put on a pie here is done with care and consideration, and the clam pie is something that has become world famous.
Yep.
And
a lot of places do it.
basic things. But all right, enough of my chit chat. Here's the big bite of a original tomato pie slice at Frank Pepe's.
Oh my God, you're doing the whole thing. You really did the whole thing.
All out.
Oh my God, Mayo. You did the whole thing. So to peel the curtain back, I have to say, and I was impressed by this. And again, we talk about this with restaurateurs all the time. But before we went on, Kevin made sure to check every pizza and look. I thought he was like, oh, maybe he doesn't want to be sick. He wants it to be clean for TV or whatever. No, he was checking to make sure underneath was perfect, or he wouldn't allow it to be served. That attention to detail is really impressive, and it's something that I noticed in Plantation, notice here. I've heard from people from the up north, and you talked about it where you make sure the water is pH balanced properly so people can't come from the north and say, well, it's different. The water's different. No, it's not. We're making sure it's the same. The fact that you are sitting here on our show making sure that the bottom is perfect and every pizza, every slice was, it really boggles my mind. I'm actually totally impressed by just how much, and every single one of your servers, everyone in this establishment has sort of it felt like they had the mentality.
That's who we are. That's our oath that we take. So we offer a couple of salads, pizza, and dessert along with the drinks. But we want to just be everybody's favorite pizza. We don't want to be anything to anybody else other than the best pizza they've ever had in their
Because
life.
at full disclosure, I'm a South Floridian, so we have Italian everywhere, and usually the menus are very extensive. And I will openly admit, when we first had Pepe's, I was like, "That's it." Like, where's
and a
the
salad.
pasta? Where's the dessert? Where's the?
Well,
the-
you got a
We
dessert.
fought a
here.
few battles on that. People.
I'm
looking
like,
for
where's all the
something-
other the main
Where's the chicken palm?
entrees? And Mayo looked at me because he went to school up in Boston. He's like, "What do you don't need any of that." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
have a salad, you have a pizza, you have a bottle of wine, you have a dessert, and then now you have one of your specials, right?
Correct.
What is?
Correct.
I
Yeah,
just
we're-
described something that you could get here.
Yes.
It's
Call
called-
it the local special. The snowbirds went home. We got to take care of the locals. You're not going to make it in South Florida without taking care of the locals. So it's a $45 date night special.
calling it the date night special.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Is it available at both locations down here?
Both locations.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
You get
$45. What
you
does
get a
that get
salad.
you? Yep, a salad.
Okay.
Yep.
A medium 2-topping pizza.
2 toppings.
So that's a 16-inch pizza.
okay.
A bottle of wine
Oh, and it comes with wine.
and a dessert.
dessert. And what do you got on the
You can't
dessert
make
menu?
that at home for $45.
No,
No,
$45
no.
for 2. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you get a
Date
pizza, a
night
salad,
special.
a bottle of wine, and a dessert. What's on your dessert menu? You got cannolis.
We have tiramisu.
tiramisu. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And
And
we also have a flourless chocolate cake.
okay.
You could put a scoop of gelato on there.
Okay.
Notice we stick with the Italian with
Yeah,
the
usually
gelato.
with the thing,
Everything's
yeah.
Italian.
Yeah, got it.
And it's a great special.
That
And
sounds like a
it's, you know,
perfect date night. I might even not
I was
even
gonna
invite
say that.
anybody. Just go by myself and have
you
that.
can do it. No problem.
$45 for one is pretty good
That's
these
not
days.
bad,
too.
That's a great deal. You'd be bringing some home.
Maybe brought a little buck. And I got to say something. Okay, the big bite. That pizza
I'm gonna
is
grab
so
a slice. Sorry,
thin
Kevin.
and delicious. I could have put half the pie in my mouth
We
in
all
one
saw.
bite, but we don't want to do that because we have
So
we
what
have
I'm glad you brought that up because it's very light. It's
Yeah.
very thin. It's a thin crust, okay, and it's
I
all that
love this
flavors.
style. And then
So
this one I'm going to put a
can
little bit of
polish
crushed
off a
pepper.
12-inch pizza, no
put a
problem. I
little
do
crushed
it on a
pepper.
regular basis.
Yeah, I'm not going to big bite this, so I could put a little bit of
I
the
can't
But
Spicy
you know,
too.
it's not heavy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
no,
like heavy.
Well,
Now they
especially
can
that
get a
pie.
little heavier when you go with the toppings and stuff like that. But the pizza itself is thin, light, airy. It has that.
I could run a marathon
Between it-
now. It's great.
It has that air pocket
going into
right
the
between
clam.
it.
All right,
You're
let's.
going for
Who
that
thought
kind,
of
look
the
at
clam
that.
pie? And
Oh, the clam pie is another hit. So
Oh,
we'll go
I
up
want
to the
this one.
60s.
This
So
looks-
that was the 20s.
Right.
And this is what started it all.
Right.
And then let's go to the 60s. Frank Pepe
oh my
served
God, I
clams
love
on
this.
the half shell
Mm-hmm.
on Worcester Street as
Okay.
an appetizer. People
Okay.
would get a beer, get clams on the half shell. And being a pioneer that he always was,
Yeah.
he started with the red. All of a sudden, let's put some clams on the pizza. Let's
Just
cut them up.
Yeah, let's see.
But again, this is you got to be a clam lover. If you
Yeah.
love clams, this is going to knock your socks off.
Let's see.
Okay, that's the fresh shucked clams.
Right. You can really taste the
A
freshness.
little touch of oregano, pecorino romano,
Mm-hmm.
our own oil blend, and
Right.
then the pecorino romano. I
Right.
told you there's secrets. I'm going to tell them to you. It's the coal-fired oven. It's that pecorino romano
Yeah.
because it's brought over from Italy in a wheel, grated on site,
Mhm.
fresh every day. And that's the Italian salt. It brings out all the flavors.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
that
this-
Italian salt, along with the coal and the char, bring out those natural flavors of the clams.
And it's amazing because this one doesn't have those beautiful crushed tomatoes. You got those big cans of tomatoes, but on this one, you don't need it. It's basically just the essence of the sea mingling with that cheese and the dough and the beautiful char.
If you like little necks on the half shell or
Mhm.
you like clams on the half shell, this pizza is going to knock your socks off. I'm a clam lover myself, and this was actually the first Frank Pepe pizza I ever had in my life. And that's it. I was like, I got to sell this the rest of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had a guy I worked with who's now our current CEO, Kevin Prince. He invited me down to Connecticut, and he said, we're going to order a clam pie in front of me and said, do you want to sell this the rest of your life? I said, sign me up.
Yeah.
Forget it. I want to eat it the rest of my life.
And I
mean,
do
that's-
that too.
Yeah.
That's the bonus. The bonus.
And like you said, that fresh shuck, you really the taste, the brininess of the sea.
Yep. Oh, no,
and,
you taste it.
and there's some people who say, there's a Italian restaurant, world famous now, not world famous, but guy Steve Morano, okay. But if you ask to put, he'll make a linguine and clam sauce, and if you ask for cheese to put on it, grated palm or pecorino romano, he says no. He refuses to allow people to put cheese on his seafood and
Okay.
pasta. And I'm like, have you ever been to Pepe's and had a clam pie?
goes
It definitely
perfectly.
mixes. And, that's why I don't understand people with their rules, because this is a flavor profile that, in my humble award-winning critic mind,
Yeah.
completely works. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
You
thing.
need the Italian salt, the pecorino romano. It brings out the flavors of the whole product.
I love that. And I love a little bit of the, crushed red pepper, the bird seed, as I call it. I need something a little bit fradiato, a little spicy. It makes it perfect also.
Right. And then we have a modern day hit here.
Mm-hmm.
So this pizza's been out about 6 years now. And what we do is we have seasonal pizzas as we're
Okay.
looking for the next hit.
Okay.
Okay, so this was the first hit. This was the hit in the 60s. And then in our modern day, we'll feature a pizza every quarter. The first pizza that on our first segment was the caprese that
Right.
we're running for the spring special.
Mhm.
Well, we decided to run a meatball ricotta pizza.
Oh,
Okay.
That'll be
And
Paul
that's a
Costranovo's favorite.
A
Yeah,
family recipe,
Oh.
meatballs. And you see,
you want it,
when
yeah.
you say we take
Yeah.
take detail, we cut them extra thick. Okay.
Interesting.
So when they cook on the pizza at 600 degrees, they don't dry out. It's
Interesting.
still-
Even with this, it
Yeah.
still stays
Oh, look
flat.
at that. Look at that.
It
Yeah.
doesn't flop at all, even with toppings.
Right.
Now, I don't necessarily regard flop as a
I don't
flaw,
either. I just
because I'm from Brooklyn and we have big floppy slices, but it is all being true to whatever your particular characteristic of the brand of pizza that you have, and the New Haven brand and the Frank Pepe's brand specifically is all about that thin, crisp.
You got to check the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's what I was checking that you were bringing up earlier.
Mm.
It's not a Pepe pizza
Nope.
unless it's perfectly charred on that bottom, which prevents that flop.
love it.
And then you see the little specks there
Yep,
that
yep.
look like little black peppers.
Yep.
That's the farina. So the farina is the they put it on the peel before they put it in the oven, but the farina goes right in the oven. That creates an air pocket between the brick and the dough. So that means you can cook it on a brick, coal-fired, without burning the bottom,
Burning
because
it.
that farina is the air between it.
Right.
And you were saying earlier about how we are inspecting everything and,
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Attention to
The
detail,
pizza
yep.
can be a very simple thing to make.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But what we take pride in is obsessing about every
Detail.
little tiny detail,
Yep.
right down to the farina or the amount of the consistency of the tomatoes.
Yep.
Everything is very hyper focused.
What I like about this pizza, because a lot of times you see a meatball pizza, and they have crumbles of the beef, and it's a kind of very sloppy. When you have it sliced like this, where it's just laying flat on the pie, it looks
nice.
very elegant. And I think that I like that essential flat nature of a pizza pie, whether it's a pepperoni slice where it's just like flat, and also it's just it looks good and it tastes even better.
We have a research and development committee that will come up with a bunch of crazy ideas. Hardly any of them make it to the table. And we'll present.
There's pineapple on the way.
Look at his face. That's how I answer my wife, who loves pineapple. My wife loves pineapple on pizza, and it makes me.
I gotta tell you, Kevin,
we'll
disgusted.
Two things. I have one daughter. I have one child, and I'm very proud of her. She just finished her freshman year at Florida State, and she's A student, really good girl. But she does two things that bring me shame, and she puts ketchup on her hot dogs, and I'm blaming that on her mom, who was originally from Ohio. And then she likes pineapple and ham pizza, and I'm like, who is this? Who is this girl? How did this happen for me? So you made the face that, as a Brooklyn boy, and anybody who regards pizza tradition in a serious manner, have people requested the ham and pineapple pizza here, and you guys just say no?
We're traditional.
Yeah,
we're traditional. The reason why I made that face is because I work for the 6 grandchildren. There's two families. Frank Pepe had 2 daughters, Elizabeth and Serafina, and they got married. So there's the Bemontes and there's the Rosellis.
Okay.
And there's 6 of them, 3 from each side. And when we expanded, everything is about their grandfather's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's embedded in me. Okay. It's threatened into me.
Right.
Okay. That we are not to change or not to stray from what got us to 100 years.
Okay.
Okay. And that is following their grandfather's traditional pizza. Now here we added a meatball. Yeah. We added a little ricotta.
Yeah.
We played with those earlier. We had those cherry tomatoes with a little bit of pesto. So we have done a couple of things, but you're not going to see us go way
off base. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad, because if I guess people say, well, what does it matter to you if I order to be with pineapple? And I'm saying, because you're doing it. It's the Yiddish word is shanda. It's a sin. You shouldn't be doing that to a pizza plate. It's like you might as well put.
We'll present these new pizzas in a research development committee. We'll present them to the grandchildren. And the grandchildren will.
It's like the royal court. See this?
Yeah.
Off with his head.
Yeah. Sometimes you can put one in front of their face, and you look at the face. You say, maybe we get that one out of here. We were just joking.
Later on today, for people who are out there, at 5 o'clock, our friend Paul Castanovo, you know him from 105.9, his morning show, the Paul Castanovo Show. I'm a friend of Paul's. He loves pizza. He is going to love this because that's kind of similar to a pizza that bears his name at a chain that he no longer is involved with. But again, the meatball and ricotta combo. And Paul Cashinova is going to be christening the Char Bar here later.
Yes.
And we're going to be christening it in a couple of minutes after the next break, because we're going to bring in your colleague there, Rodolfo.
Rodolfo, yes.
Nice.
And
outstanding guy. He helped us launch this bar. He's done a great job.
Nice.
Yeah. So you guys either can make it out now and have lunch. You guys, what are the hours? 7 days a week?
11 to 10, 7
11
days.
to 10, 7 days. You're on delivery apps, or
we're out there. It's market
Does
share.
that make you cringe a little bit? Because there's nothing like a pizza fresh out of the oven.
He's like, we are.
Yeah.
You got to be in the game. The
Yeah.
game gets bigger.
Yeah. And so
we ideally want our guests to come in here and experience the pizza at the table first, so we can knock your socks off.
Right.
Anything that you put to go, if you put a piece of fish in a styrofoam,
it's never the same.
or you put a pizza in the box, it does slightly.
No,
but if you have the first
you know what happens when you
here,
put a pizza in a box?
This is what it
It
is.
screams. It screams a little bit. It dies a little death. It's like there's nothing like coming here and having it straight out of the oven.
That's where we want you to have your first one.
And you mentioned the peel. For those who don't know pizza terminology, the peel is like the paddle where you slide the pizza in the oven. They have these peels here that, because the oven is 14 feet long, I've never seen things.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
weird.
you could row the Mayflower with it.
Yes.
It's
Yes. It's like a ballet back there.
Yeah.
You have someone that bangs out our pizza, stretch our pizza and throw it around. We bang your dough because they heat. So they just, it's called banging, and then they throw the peel. The next guy's the decorator.
Yeah.
And he tops it all up, makes it beautiful, and then he throws it in that oven, and then the oven man can never leave that oven.
okay.
He's
And
the steward of
Oh,
that
he
oven.
just stays
There's
there.
no dial
And
on that oven.
Wait, he just stays at the oven?
Yeah.
and
Well, we
he's
swap
doing
them out.
No, I'm not
We
saying
tag
he's
team 'em
handcuffed.
out, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I was
Yeah,
going
no,
to ask.
He does it
you
by
guys have
eye.
it
and
timed
they,
or-
they go around. And they
You
kinda-
can't let the oven
Oh, interesting.
not have somebody manage
It's
it.
an art form.
Oh,
too.
wow,
It's-
okay.
There's
it's
no
part-
dial. If you're
part
going to
art,
get busy,
part science.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to get busy, there's no dial. So you need
That's
to be
good.
feeding it with coal, monitoring the airflow, monitoring the chimney.
Oh, wow.
There's a fan there to turn the airflow up and down. You also
Impressive.
have to put the pizzas in a certain spot there. If you keep putting a lot of pizzas in one
You gotta
spot,
move
the
it around.
spot turns
Yeah.
cold, and so you might have to skip that spot for a couple of cycles.
Oh, let me get
Okay,
hot
so they
again.
have different lanes of pizzas, and they're always rotating them in, moving them in.
Nice. Hey, let us take our second break, and then it's time to imbibe. It's 5:00 somewhere,
Yeah.
and we're going to be checking out some of the great new libations and cocktails from the Cha Bar. I'm saying it with my Boston
Yeah, you have to.
accent. Here at Frank Pepe's Pizza. We'll be back after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrilla tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Every show gets... When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of Science Museum. For reservations and information. All right, we're back now, live on the Lunchbox, Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana. It's in Delray Beach, right at the quay, and Linton Boulevard. Can't miss it. There's also one in Plantation Walk on University Drive, just north of Broward Boulevard. It is a New Haven tradition. It has now become a national icon, and it's celebrating 100 years of pizza love here at Frank Pepe's. And but even if you're 100 years old, you can still learn some new tricks.
Yes.
And that's why we have our man Rodolfo on with us now, making his Lunchbox debut with some of the new cocktails that have been debuting at the brand new Char Bar. I said it because Kevin's not here anymore. I'm saying it with my Brooklyn accent, Char Bar, instead of Chaba. But welcome to the Lunchbox, and tell us a little bit how your involvement. Are you the mixologist? Do you have an official title?
So how'd you say? So I think it's what is the best idea to celebrate 100 years? And I'll say, like, well, okay, let's bring
drink.
alcohol.
Yeah, say cheers.
So yes, well, basically, I'm very honored and grateful to be here in this company because, well, 100 years.
Right.
Phenomenal.
It's funny because in Italian culture, when you raise a wine glass and it's a birthday, instead of saying, you can say salud, which means, good health.
Yes.
But you can also say cent'anni, which means 100 years. So here we are, 100 years, and we're going to pick up a cocktail and say cent'anni. Tell us a little bit about. So how did you start? How long have you been working with Pepe's? And where are you from originally?
So I'm from Venezuela. I was
great.
born here in the United States, but I'm originally from Venezuela. I came to the Frank Pepe's Pizzeria. When I spoke with KG, one first thing that he told me was like, do you have experience with the alcohol and cocktail? And I said, yeah, of course I have. In my previous job, I had a lot of cocktails and experience, mixology.
Yep.
And Frank Pepe's history is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to bring cocktail from the first restaurant that offered cocktails and alcohol.
Did the other ones offer any beer or wine?
Only beers
beer
and
wine, right?
Beers and wines.
Right.
So it's going to be like...
And also, I think I've got it right, the Foxen Park soda. What was the soda, Dan Santoro?
Yes.
It was
The Foxen Park. Well,
Park in New Haven is the specialty.
And we have a drink with Foxen Park is in front of you, the
Oh, wow.
special one.
How about that? Right on cue. I know my New Haven
There you
stuff.
go.
Yes.
Is this with the Foxen Park? It's like a root
Yes.
beer, or
No, it is not a root beer, so it's with cream.
cream
So
soda.
basically,
soda.
we try to find like a perfect
What
balance
is this?
here.
What is this called?
So it's like a kind of margarita for us.
Okay, so is
Okay.
that tequila?
So exactly, it has tequila on it and lime juice. But we want to bring our culture here, or we want to bring our roots here, and
This
we
one I'm gonna
bring
give to
Foxen
Lubie.
Park. So you are gonna feel like
Sweet, is that what it is?
usually you have a tequila or margarita is really acid or sweet.
Yeah.
No, it is not the case for the special one.
Nice.
So it's made with tequila, lime
This
juice,
is-
and Foxen Park.
okay, and does this one have a name?
The special.
The special.
Oh, it's called
okay.
the special.
It's very
Special.
special for
And
us.
The fact that it's made with the Foxen Park soda
Yes.
root beer really gives it that New Haven local element.
Yes.
And I gave it off to Lubie not because it's not delicious. It tastes really good. But I had a tequila incident when I was
Oh, the
16,
tequila.
and I'm still scarred for life. I cannot have a full tequila cocktail.
No problem.
But that's
we
why
have
we
a
have
lot
others,
of options.
yes.
Yes.
And
So in this
fantastic.
side we have the limoncello martini.
Ah.
So the martini is very popular here in Florida, and I think the rest of the world. And we add, because of course the
Limoncello's a
from
big-
Pepe
yeah.
and the roots are from Italian roots. So
Yep.
we bring the limoncello. It's a very balanced flavor, rich, smooth, and it's good pair with any pizza. That's the most important.
Oh yeah, that'll pair with the clam pie perfectly.
Yes,
The
for a
lemon
clam
goes with the
pie,
clam.
for the caprese, new caprese.
Refreshing.
It's
This is
very
perfect
refreshing.
for a South
Especially
Florida
the summers
spring
are
or
coming.
summer.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Yes.
Very
Over
nice
here.
drink, and I could see Shirley
My wife would
digging on
love
this.
that. Yep, yep, yep.
That is something.
It's
Is it
nice.
popular with the? All right, let me back up. When
Yes.
did the Char Bar open? When did you first get the full liquor license?
So when I came here, it was almost everything done.
Mhm.
They brought me here to just help
When did
help
you-
them with the
when did you
bar.
start?
That's February.
February. Okay.
February.
So going back 3 months.
And I spoke with KG, spoke with the other director of operation, and they just find out like it was a better idea to bring good cocktails for the bar and more for the people, because we already have a story behind the pizza.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we are gonna have a story behind the
drinks.
drink,
We're giving.
so that's good thing.
yeah. And what's the last one here? I'm sorry. It's
So this one is our new rum, Papa's Pillar rum
oh,
punch.
Papa's Pilar
So
rum.
it's
Another
basically
Paul
kind of
Casanova.
a Aperol spritz.
Yeah.
Oh, an
Aperol
Aperol spritz.
Yes,
Nice.
But
so
with-
this is
Oh, rum.
yeah. So this, the difference, like we add the rum
Mm-hmm.
that is still very refreshing,
Okay.
and we add some lime juice that balance a smooth and rich flavor to it. So this is our new baby.
I'm going to
Interesting.
handle the new baby with ultra
With
care. Kind of, just kind of rub it a little bit and say,
There you go.
oh, yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, so
And
it's
again,
very
this is-
refreshing.
It's
We are
not
coming
too
to summer.
sweet,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's
Yes.
Like a summer
very
drink, yeah, for sure.
satisfying, and it has that, nice little citrus
So that
element.
comes with the rum, orange juice, lime juice, the Aperol, and that's what
Aperol,
you,
right.
you get all the rich flavors.
That is
yes.
some smooth sipping there, my
Yes.
friend.
Yes, it's very
Rodolfo,
good.
that is excellent work. And do you have other basics if somebody wants to just order an old fashioned?
Yes, of course. Well,
Yeah, you
we
do.
have for old fashioned, we have our old fashioned that is all reliable. So it's with bourbon, and we select the best bourbon for the people here around us in Florida. So you can get a Moss Milk, you can get a mojito.
Okay. Yeah.
And the char bar itself, you got a little marble
Yes.
slab along with the bottles and some stools
Yes.
up towards the front part. But anybody throughout the restaurant here can order a cocktail
Yes.
at any time.
Definitely,
That's
definitely.
good
Yes.
because I think you've hit on something. It pairs well with the pizzas, and why not give people? You were saying I think a lot of guests were requesting full liquor,
Yes.
People
right?
were asking for liquor.
Yeah, so basically, of course, the other location we don't have a bar, but down here in Florida, people come to the restaurant and say, "Hey, you don't have a cocktail, you don't have a bar," and say, "Well, yeah, we have a beers and wines," and say, "No, cocktails like alcohol."
Yes.
Yeah.
And say, "You know what? We are gonna hear the people. We always hear the people. We are gonna
You
offer."
listen to your guests, except if they ask for
That's it.
pineapple on pizza. You could put maybe a pineapple in a cocktail.
Oh,
but not on
I
pizza.
can. We are gonna be very soon. We bring a good pina colada. I do a really good pina colada. Some people, if they order a pina colada, I'll do it for them.
Meanwhile, it's always a treat when we come to Delray Beach to see my
Yeah.
man Dickstein. Dickstein is a big fan of Pepe's Pizza because he's a Connecticut Yankee at heart. So I got a couple of old friends in the house here. And Rodolfo, I guess, do people come in now and just kind of sit at the bar? Is there a happy hour and where you could get like a drink and a pizza special? Or how does that all
Yes.
work? Yeah.
So basically, we have a new happy hour, like from Monday to Friday, 3 to 6, and 50% off in all our drinks, and they can get the pizzas half of the price and the drink half of the price.
Oh,
So
nice.
It's the best deal.
Yeah. We're
Great
going to
deal.
talk more with Kevin on our final segment about some of the offerings here and at the plantation location. Again, even though there's really no off season in South Florida anymore, it's just crowded and more crowded. Those are the two seasons. There's also, stone crab season and non-stone crab season. I'm
Yeah.
very sad because today
Today's the last day.
marks the end of stone
Yeah.
crab season, May 1st. I can't believe it, also known as May Day.
Mhm.
I'm not in distress here, but I am distressed to hear about that. It is the end of stone crab season, traps being pulled up. So this is the last few days where you're going to get fresh ones in the store.
Yes.
And that brings me to our great sponsor, Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market in Hollywood. Again, traps being pulled up, so they will have fresh stone crabs, the last of this season, available this weekend. Go in there, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. We love Delaware. We're going to be in there for our next show later in the month, and we'll be talking about grill season and Memorial Day and all that stuff. You can pick up all your provisions for all your summer grilling at Delaware. Go online to DelawareChicken.com to get signed up for their weekly newsletter and stay on top of all the specials they're offering. We love Delaware Chicken. We mourn the passing of stone crab season, but that's okay because there's plenty of other good stuff to eat and drink, especially here at Pepe's Pizza. Rodolfo, thank you so much for stopping by and bringing some of your great creations. And we're going to take our final break, and we'll come back with Kevin Gagliard in a moment and wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox from Frank Pepe Pizza. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Monday. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to... All right, we're back at Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana in Delray Beach. Don't forget, there's also one in Plantation, right on Plantation Walk, University Drive, just north of Broward Boulevard. We're here on not University Drive, Federal Highway, and Linton Boulevard. I know my streets. I know my way around here. We're back with Vice President Kevin Gagliard. And before we go, you wanted to just mention you've got a bunch of options, offerings, and deals for the summertime, right?
Well, you got some cocktails since I left.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and here right now, I really dig this rum riff
Spritz
on the Aperol Spritz because I don't like drinks that are too sweet, and this is like perfect because it's just smooth sipping, goes perfectly with I'm going to say the tomato pie. But we'll go. We'll do the taste test in a minute. But yeah, we got the cocktails.
That's great.
And Rodolfo was talking about you have the 50% off everything happy hour now,
It
right?
starts now for the month of May.
Really?
The snowbirds have gone home. We adore them. We couldn't live here and enjoy Florida without them.
Yep.
However, you're not going to make it in South Florida without taking care of the locals.
Yep.
So we decided we want here to try our product, experience what you're experiencing today, and win them over. So we created a happy hour for the month of May, 50% off the whole menu.
Oh, wow.
Both locations,
and
Plantation,
And is that going to be going on in June also?
the whole month of May.
And
We're going to reevaluate after
we'll
May.
see where
Maybe we'll
things
come up
are.
with different specials
3 to
throughout the
6.
summer.
And I missed it because I wasn't paying attention. It's every day or Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay, got it.
50% off everything.
Wow, that's a pretty good deal.
And if you miss that, you have the date night special where you can eat,
Medium
the
pizza.
salad, which
Salad.
again for good health, you
Oh,
need
my.
a little vegetables.
Yep.
Yes.
The 2-topping medium
Two-topping.
pizza, the bottle of wine, which is essential to a date night,
Date night.
and then the
Dessert.
dessert, which
Correct.
is again how many desserts here? It's
tiramisu, flourless chocolate cake,
and
gelato.
gelato.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a cannoli?
We're working on it.
All right.
We're
Probably
working on it.
It's gotta
Remember,
be
we focus on the pizza. We don't
gotta
get
get the right
down
one.
every side road.
I
We
know.
keep it
I
simple,
know. I'm
keep
sorry.
it fresh.
I know, but I hear pizza. I like a good cannoli.
I
But
love
you
a
know what? A
great cannoli.
tiramisu is great.
Gelato.
The
Who
gelato,
doesn't
the
like a good gelato?
flourless chocolate cake is good.
So, Kevin, let me
It's
ask you
all
before
good.
you go. We know this is the first location of your 17 to have a bar. How many more? Like, I know you roll things out. You're very diligent. You take time, and everything you do is painstakingly focused, and you work it through, and you take your time. Here, we're always thinking ahead. So I like how the words are combining. How many of the establishments do you see rolling the bar out to more places? Is that something you would like to
I
see
think
more of?
we will test and evaluate. The bar's only, we did a soft opening.
Yeah.
Now we're blowing it out with
Okay.
the 50% off. And,
Yeah.
But we wanted to warm up and we want to learn about it. We want to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
We brought in some people with some bar expertise. You sat with Rodolfo.
It was great. Yep.
We listened to our guests.
Mhm.
Okay, so our guests in South Florida told us that they're very, very thirsty. They come in, they go, "Where's the bar? Where's the bar? Where's the bar?" So if you stop listening to your guests and giving them what they want, you wouldn't be around 100 years.
It's been around 98 years. Took 2 years in South Florida for you to put a
Right.
bar.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what that says about
We
us.
love our people in Delray and Boca, but yeah, after 2
That's
years,
funny.
that'll drive anybody to drink.
And the deal is in Plantation as well.
That's
Okay,
great.
they don't
Okay.
have a bar down there, but they have beer,
Beer
and wine.
So 50%
nice.
off the
The
beer
whole-
and wine. With,
The whole menu.
whole menu.
Like that's insane.
You can get 5 different topping, large pizzas, 50% off everything. That's a good
We
deal.
want the locals to come out, learn about coal-fired pizza, see what we do, and we're going to overwhelm them and wow them, and hopefully earn a guest for life. That's
Yeah,
our goal.
that's
It's
smart.
just, one pizza at a time. We're only as good as our last pizza.
Yeah.
One guest experience. We want you to have an experience to come in here.
Well,
I want you to see the cooks making your pizza,
Yep.
sit down and smell the aura of all the pizzas, and just sit down, relax, and feel like you're in New Haven in
and
1925.
I'm glad that you mentioned that you want to get people to try it, because I always tell people, as a food critic, the most frustrating thing to me is when you go out to eat with somebody, or when you go to a restaurant that has a menu that just is basic, and people don't want to expand their minds or palates, and they always want to say, no, that's not as good as what I grew up with, or that's not what I grew up with. But the whole point of exploring the food world out there is to try new things, and because you never know, you might just like it. And in the case of New Haven Pizza, even if you grew up in wherever, Chicago, with you got to give the place a chance. If you are into, I love this, it's the mozzarella cheese. When I have it, is something that
I love
everybody.
the clam, and I've had it other places. Fresh clam, and I'm like, yeah, okay,
fresh
whatever. And then I took a bite. You have it other places, and the flavors. I have to add a ton of Parmesan cheese, and I have to add all these things. Like the clam itself, the flavor of the clam shines through, which is not
That's
always
what
the
we're
case.
looking for. That's what we went for.
Yeah, the brininess and the essence of the sea layered
you
atop
taste it.
that beautiful Italian pecorino romano cheese and that dough, which is made to exacting standards. It's all part of the.
And then-
I was going to say pieces of the puzzles, pieces of the pie, really. Why Pepe's has stood the test of time, 100 years.
We don't want to be everything to everybody. We want to be everybody's favorite pizzeria.
That's all good.
That's what we're looking for.
And again, I am very, very happy to be here celebrating. So we're going to sign off now. We're going to thank Kevin. We're going to thank Rodolfo. Please give our regards to Jennifer. We
Yes,
had a great
please.
time with her at the opening
She
of
was
the
great.
plantation store. We hope to see her again. Hope to be in here again also sometime soon.
That'd be wonderful.
You guys got to come check it out. And I'm going to raise a glass at the end and say salute and cent'anni. Enjoy every pizza. Enjoy every sandwich.
Cheers, guys.
Salud and
Salud.
cent'anni.
Cent'anni.